Hey everybody! I am in the middle of packing to move, but I was able to squeeze in a morning full of beach time with my kids because I own my time. I own my time, I own my life, I own my business, and that allows me the capability to be able to be spontaneous, to exercise when I want to exercise, to pack when I want to pack, and to basically live where I want to live. And so I wanted to share this with you because it has allowed me the opportunity to grow. Um, what I'm being led to do is to talk about how there can be joy in situations that feel tense. And so what it is it's always a doorway to transformation if you allow it to be. And stress and tension that continue to build up and actually block you are those are those are just opportunities. The more blocked you are with stress, which always is a symptom of a false belief in what you can do or what is available to you. So let's take, for instance, if you're stressed out because of your job, then there is something about that job that has an opening for you, and you're just not seeing it that way. Or it could be time to shift gears and to start thinking about what it is your soul's path is. What is the stress showing you? Is it showing you that there is another opportunity? And if it's showing you that there's another opportunity, then you want to tap into that, and you want to follow that. So, for instance, I coach moms. I'm actually the people who are really being drawn to me are actually teachers. And their teachers, I believe these teachers have gifts inside of them that they believe they know are there, and yet they're feeling boxed in, and they're feeling boxed in by society's structures, and those limit. And when there is a limit or a perceived limit, then there is stress. And that is a function of society, and that is also a function of us believing that it is actually a limit. And, I have these too, but I have gotten where I am today, and I do have access to my freedom, my personal freedom, because I realized that I was living in a life where I had a lot of preconceived notions about what I was actually capable of, and preconceived notions about, what it meant to have a career. And what I realized was that, what was important to me was actually my time. What was important to me was my health, my well-being, being able to spend time with my kids, being able to travel, being able to have a successful, happy relationship. All of those things actually contributed to me really wanting to build an online business, an online school. And I'm sharing this with you because it can feel scary to be living in a limited belief about what is possible. And what is liberating is actually taking a step forward to be able to liberate yourself, right? So if your job is feeling heavy, if you're stressed out and your home life feels heavy, or you're just simply wanting to infuse your life with more joy, those are all really good reasons to I'm planting a seed in your mind that says, that actually is an old way of living that's attached to old beliefs that are actually keeping you in the same closed circuit system where you're actually not getting access to the higher emotions, the joy, the bliss for a prolonged state of time. And just to share with you, our society is really attached. We have like this attachment where we have to attach to something or somebody to be happy. And in all reality, we are the source in the creation of our happiness. And when we function from that spot, we actually own our own emotions. We have incredible power to be able to create what we want in our life. And this has enabled me to create what I call my dream come true life. It is 100% authentic to me and my beliefs about what I am capable of, and has very little, if anything, to do with what society says is correct. However, I do I do roll with some amazing leaders who are, they're changing the world one person at a time, just like I am seeking to create a major ripple in the world when it comes to how women speak to ourselves. Like, what is the language we are talking to ourselves with? And what are we actually wanting most in our life? And how do we bring that forward? If we are not declaring what we're wanting, then there's no way we can bring it forward. So it has to be, we have to bring forward what we want, and we have to declare what we want, and we also have to work to rectify where the past energy is holding us down. And so I'm sharing this with you because as humans, we are supposed to be joyful, and we are supposed to experience, sadness. And if we're not fully taking responsibility for where we're suffering, and I say that by actually feeling the feeling, then we are unable to access the higher, I call it like the higher echelons of joy, bliss, happiness, just by waking up in the morning, right? Not even by like going to a party or buying a new dress or seeing your best friend. It is just the state of being that you are in. And, I've lived in two different areas. One has been where I have actually bought into my limiting beliefs about what I was capable of. And I was within a structure that was very, very strict and very confining. And that's also how my brain functioned. I wasn't expanding my thought at all. I wasn't using my creativity. And what I realized is like, here's one side of life as I knew it, but there was this other whole side. And as I'm literally looking out over the ocean, it was an ocean's worth of information that I had yet to learn about living a life that was authentic to me. And when I learned that information and when I implemented it, which, some of you watching it, you're learning information because you're reading it in books, but it's actually like the implementation stage. I just spoke with a VIP client about this. You actually have to put it into your life and make it work even when it doesn't feel easy. And when it doesn't feel easy is actually when it's working. And I've been through this in my life over and over and over again. And what it has done is it has opened up and expanded me to, so much more than if I just stayed safe in my life. If I stayed safe, if I played it safe, if I paid attention to what other people were saying about me, if I quote unquote followed the rules, right, of what a single mom or even what a woman with 3 children should be doing, I should be doing with my money, what I should be doing with my time, I wouldn't actually be in front of you sharing this message because I actually would still be stuck. So the secret to becoming unstuck is actually going through the stuckness. And that feels a little bit tight and it feels a little bit constricting. And that's why most of us need support, because it is always only a moment in time when we are in this space. On the other side of it is always an ocean's worth of expansive choices. I witness this all the time with my children and how much they've grown just in 4 months of of me making a major life decision to move them against what a lot of people thought was best for my kids, move them to a new school, move them to a new home. I started a new relationship. I traveled. All of these things, they grew my children because I grew, because I welcomed in and processed the joy and the pain of growing in a way that was authentic to me, and it was actually peaceful. So, the other side of it would be that my kids and I were still brokenhearted because my marriage didn't last, but that's not the case. So I'm just sharing this with you because who knows who it's going to reach? Who knows who is going to be influenced by this? What I do know is that as I do have clients, I have some amazing clients that they're women who are very very driven to make a difference, very in tune with who they are. However, they have blockages, and they realize that these blockages are present, and they're knowledgeable to a certain extent about ascension, about happy living, and yet there's a piece of it that is not clicking. And if that piece is not clicking, then let me help you make it click, right? Because this is what my daughter's teacher told me. It was great. She said, if you spend 15 minutes trying to solve a problem and you're not solving the problem, you need to stop and ask for help. Well, I wish I had known that when I was an adult, because there were so many problems that I finally started to ask for help from somebody who had solutions as to how to not only, we don't want to there's ways to solve problems. There's ways to absolutely climb through the problem so that it doesn't become an issue again. You're not facing it again. You become super resilient. You become powerful. You're totally in charge of your own life. And you're super, super capable of massive amounts of love and compassion for everybody. And that is what I consider to be living in service. I am in service to humanity because of the messages that I share about better living. And one of the things, I call myself the nourished mama, is because we have to be parented. We, I meaning you, and I'm parented by my coaches who share knowledgeable information about how to become the best person we can be and fill ourselves and our cups before we even try to step into a role of filling other people. But actually is, to assist in the evolution of humans and mainly women and moms who are struggling, because your circumstances are simply there to show you where your potential is. So I had 3 main pains. The first one was love and not being able to have access to the love that I knew that I deserved. I had to create that inside of myself. The second one was I was struggling with parenting and being an effective parent. What I've learned now is that through conscious parenting, I simply show up for my children and give them the option to transform their behavior. But my behavior is already transformed. Hi, Maura. And because my behavior is already transformed, I need not do much. The other is work. I knew that I had more to give and more to experience that was actually outside of the structure of my school that I was teaching in. And though I loved what I was doing, and to me, it felt very limiting. And so, that's really what I'm being called forward to teach about in this moment, is about the choices in career, and to know that there is a doorway that is open for you right now to look at another option. If it feels that the doorway that you're currently in is closed, meaning there's really no growth, there's no expansion, there's no opportunity, It is because you're actually being shown that there is another option. I was shown this 3 years ago. And when I was shown this, I simply got curious and I connected with somebody who had experienced that. And she happens to be my coach right now. I'm coached by 3 people. And the reason why I'm coached by 3 people is because I realized that I couldn't go through life by myself. I had always been coached. I had always been super, super coachable. And I had always taught what I had learned and mastered. And so relying on myself when it came to choices or when I was feeling stuck in certain situations simply wasn't working anymore. Relying on my parents, they reaffirmed that, yes, no, you need to stay where you are. It's okay. Like, this is what it's all about. This is what life is all about. And I was like, no. My life doesn't feel like it is all about this. In fact, I feel like I'm completely over it. But what I couldn't do was I couldn't do it by myself. And so I had to learn the process to be able to actually connect with what is I know to be and 100% sure of is my life's purpose. And my life's purpose is attached to all the abundance and the wealth in the world that I could dream of. And it's fully supporting my vision of creating education all over the world, communities all over the world. And as the message gets bigger, the money, which is considered soul's wealth, which means I create and I speak from my soul's essence. There's soul's essence and then there's ego. Ego wants to control every single aspect of your life, and it actually keeps you completely stewing in your own junk, picking up the baggage from the past, bringing it forward to the future, and it causes a considerable amount of pain. Essence is true to who you are, and essence is powerful, it's beautiful, and it's peaceful. And it's actually connected to, like I said earlier, a legacy of abundance, a legacy of wealth, okay? And so when I caught wind of this, it piqued my interest, and I was like, I'm going to just check it out. So as I go, I'm getting ready to get the kids ready to go to an end of the school year cookout. And I just want to leave this here that there's going to be a link below that will have, you can have access to my calendar and tell me what's going on. If it's something to do with your career and making a choice about your career, I would love to support you with that, because people like me, we thrive on making a difference in someone's life. And every morning I get up and I say, how can I make a difference in one person's life today? Again, because I lived in 2 different realities. I've lived in the reality where I felt like I was living in a box, and that was really, really hard. And I live in a reality now where I get to wake up, work out, spend time on my business, spend time on my kids. Today we're going to a cookout where I completely own my own time, my own money, my fitness, my health, all of that stuff. And so this is the way that when I was getting there, I was like, if every single person knew this information, I think we'd be a much happier place. We'd get along better. Not only that, the secrets that are inside of your soul as part of you are actually needed to help other people. And that is called being in service. When I realized this was much bigger than me, right? I realized that I actually had a message that would help other people change their life. I took that really, really seriously. And so I've made it my mission. And if you hear this and if you want to be part of creating your own mission or just want to check out some of the work that I do, on Friday I have 3 spots available. I'm really busy this week with moving and everything. On Friday, I have 3 spots available. And what I do during this is a VIP type treatment where I actually tell you one specific thing that you have to do. And I read this energetically. I do this with 100% laser precision. And as soon as I say it, you're going to be like, yes, I've wanted to do that, but I haven't because I've been afraid, or I've had a certain set of beliefs about whether or not I could. And so then I'm going to give you the how to do it. And then we're going to have a follow-up. And you're going to tell me how much joy and how much amazing excitement happened because you did this one thing that felt scary. So this is what I do with my clients all the time. And they have massive breakthroughs every time they do this. And so I'm giving this away to, well, there's 3 spaces, right? There's 3 spaces available. Again, this is a VIP treatment that I give only to my clients, my paying clients, but it's like a 20-minute talk and it comes with a follow-up. I'm going to give you one extra, it's like a secret. It's a secret of your soul. And it's attached to an amazing amount of joy. And you're actually stuck right now, and it's very hard for you to do this. But I'm going to lay out the steps for you to do it and give you support and follow up. And you're going to have a breakthrough as a result of it. Okay, so everybody, I'm headed out to go to a cookout with some 6.5-year-olds. So it should be super fun. Hope you have a super nice day. And Maura, thank you so much for showing up. I think about you often. And sending you love. Bye.